What's going on? It's JV. We're back on the show, and today you are witnessing a new era of the podcast. For a while, I've been talking NFL and giving my opinion on various takes, and while that's still going to happen, I felt like we needed a little bit more spice. And I talked with my friend Shawn, and we decided that our football relationship is built off debate and controversy, and so is NFL media. It stems from controversy and one-on-one debate, going take for take. And that's exactly what we want to do here on the podcast. So from here moving forward, besides my own episodes, me and Deshaun will be filming every week or two a few episodes that highlight our debates, the ones that we have off camera, that we go one-on-one, shot for shot for. And today we want to bring that here on screen for the first time ever. So let's introduce my good friend Deshaun Lejeune. How you doing, brother? I appreciate you having me and for bringing the idea to the podcast.
Hey man, anytime that I can educate not only you but all of our viewers, all 400,000 of our viewers, I'm happy to do so. And just to talk about that very, very quickly, okay? All the dweebs and little basement dwellers in the comments that are continually taking shots at me and my football IQ, I want to let you guys know something very, very clear, okay? You guys watch football, okay? I dissect football, okay? So it's not my fault that your little pea-sized brain is not able to understand why the Patriots will be good, why the Patriots will have success. And if I have to be the bad guy, if I have to be the bearer of bad news, that's fine, okay? But do not come at me and my credibility. Do not come at the JV show and the show's credibility, okay? Because come fall, come August, September, October, November, when the Patriots are playing in January, you will be the fools. So please, please, just keep my name out of your mouth.
Very good
Let's get it going.
introduction.
Let's
Now,
get
now
it
before
going.
now before we start, I'd like to make it clear that Deshaun's 14-3 prediction of the Patriots is not my prediction. I actually said 11-6, but for some reason we've both been looped in the comments. But that's besides the point. Today, me and Deshaun actually talked around a month ago. We agreed that we debate a lot off screen, and we thought it would be best and more natural to bring it on live here on the podcast. And today we have a few topics we felt super passionately about. We have Garrett Wilson as an overrated or underrated receiver, and then Aaron Rodgers as a washed quarterback or not. So we're going to dive right into things. We're going to keep it around half an hour, 40 minutes, try to get it all in. And first of all, Deshaun, I think it's important that we highlight the fact that I think it's sick you say Garrett Wilson is overrated. I think it's blasphemous as a receiver yourself. I think it is crazy that you would go against your own people for a guy just got paid $130 million, $90 million guaranteed over 4 years. He's a top 15 receiver in the league. I will stand by it, and I cannot believe that you say he's overrated. It's ridiculous.
So first of all, I'm gonna address the one of the things you said about money. Okay, now obviously we're gonna transition here to a different sport. Okay, Rudy Gobert is making close to $50 million a year. Okay, Rudy Gobert is ass. Rudy Gobert sucks. Okay, so this correlation with money and talent, that is not a thing. Okay,
For sure.
The Jets suck. The Jets are terrible. The Jets have been terrible my entire life, and they'll probably be terrible for the rest of my entire life. They needed to pay somebody. They had money, and Garrett Wilson is not a wide receiver one, but he's a wide receiver one in New York by default. They had to pay him. Because in my opinion, right, and I don't know if you have a different opinion when it comes to what a wide receiver one is, but I would argue that a wide receiver one is going to hit over 1,200 yards more than once. Would you agree? Because
it depends.
Because our man Garrett Wilson has not hit 1,200 yards since he was a rookie, and that's the problem with football fans. That's the problem with you, Johnny, is that you get so enamored, you get so bought into the idea of Garrett Wilson, the name of Garrett Wilson, right? Aaron Rodgers is saying that he reminds him of a different 17, the other 17 in Green Bay. Everyone's talking about his ceiling, right? The hype around him. Why is he not eclipsed? Like, why is his best year his rookie year?
Well, what about Terry McLaurin?
Okay.
Would he be in the same conversation as Terry McLaurin?
Yeah,
or is Terry McLaurin a true number one?
I don't think so.
Because the reason Garrett Wilson has not produced. And hold on a second. We're acting like 1,100 yards is something. That's pretty consistent. To come in the league and produce for 3 years, 1,100 yards, that's pretty solid. But I understand. You're looking at a true number one receiver. He hasn't had a quarterback for his entire career.
He's had Aaron Rodgers. He's had Aaron Rodgers.
A washed 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, yeah.
Trevor Siemian, Mike
here's
White.
The issue.
I might as well go out there and throw.
Here's the issue.
I might throw to him.
Here's the issue. Is that we want to make excuses for high-end players, right? Because I know for a fact that on Friday when we start going and debating Chase and Jefferson, you're going to make the same argument. Bad 100%. Quarterback play. I've seen, and now I'm older. I'm Unc, your nephew, so I've been around the block a few times. I've seen elite receivers make subpar QB play work. DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson, Chad Ochocinco. I can keep on pulling these names out. They make it work. Justin Jefferson. These are all true wide receiver ones that make it work. If we have to continually babying this receiver, Garrett Wilson, and saying, so then what does he need? Does he need a top 5 quarterback to be
just a top 15 quarterback?
Top
15 quarterback. That's all I want. So Aaron Rodgers is not a top 15 quarterback last year.
So what if he has a quarterback that has better stats than the MVP of last year? Would that be okay?
No, because you're looking at it from a statistical standpoint. We're looking at it from a statistical standpoint now.
For sure.
And we can get into the Aaron Rodgers thing.
But
the problem is he hasn't had quarterback play and he plays on the Jets. But I think he makes the best of the situation. And when you put on the film, it's everything you could ask for out of a top receiver. He does everything. He's a mini Justin Jefferson.
So he's
a mini Justin Jefferson.
So he's a mini Justin Jefferson in every way except for football. Got it. So
not at all. Not at all.
He's not true wide receiver one. So in his yards per route, 1.69 yards, ranking 42nd amongst receivers in the National Football League. Okay, how many teams are there? 32. All right. So now that's just one receiver a team. Now we usually got 2 or 3 on the field. 42nd, this is not good, okay? True number ones average around 2.5 plus yards per route, okay? So right now, this is like the first stat that I'm throwing your way. It's not looking good for your boy. It's not looking good at all, okay? So now you're probably going to bring up, okay, well, he had 101 receptions. That is awesome, okay? That ranked 9th most in the league. That's super impressive. However, his explosive play rating was 28. Okay, again, 32 teams. Now he ranks 28. So that means that he's healthy. Okay, so that means he's on the field. He's catching the ball, right? He's just not doing game-changing things with it. So he's on the field. He's getting 101 receptions. If his explosive play rating is ranked 28th, what are you disagreeing with?
I would tend to disagree. If you take the time to turn on the film, you will see an excellent playmaker who's excellent in contested catches, who's versatile, plays all over the field, slot, wide out in the backfield, doesn't matter. They use him everywhere. Okay. The issue last year was not Garrett Wilson. It hasn't been for the last 3 years since he's entered the league. He's one of 4 or 5 receivers for his throughout the entire NFL's history to enter the league. First 3 seasons with 80-plus receptions and above 1,000 yards. Every one of those 3 seasons. And when you watch the film and you break it down, it's everything you want in a star receiver. It's quarterback play. It's system that has held him back. And you can talk to me all you want about the monster amount of targets and receptions he had last year.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson weren't on the same page. I don't care what you say. If you watch the games, they weren't on the same page. But if you watch Garrett Wilson and break him down every single game, you'll see a versatile player, a 10 out of 10 route runner with grade A deceleration, a fantastic release receiver who works well off the line, creates separation, all of the above. That's why they paid him, because he's a star. If they use him correctly with a top 15 quarterback,
so now
he finishes top 10 among metrics.
He's going into his now 5th season, maybe 6th season, and now we're still saying as soon as he gets this thing, he's going to be elite.
True.
Okay. So who's better? Okay. Who's better? Brock Osweiler or Aaron Rodgers last year?
Aaron Rodgers last year.
Okay. So then why was DeAndre Hopkins able to make things work? Why was he able to go out there and be a Pro Bowler, be a top 5 receiver with Brock Osweiler?
I agree with you. I
See,
agree.
no,
No,
here's the thing.
I,
Here's the thing. Here's the
I
thing. Is that
understand.
I love Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson is fantastic.
Would
I
you say
think
he's
Garrett
top
Wilson.
15?
I think Garrett Wilson is fantastic for a wide receiver too, and that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with being a wide receiver too. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Because I need a dog, okay? See, your version of receivers might be a little bit different than mine. I need a guy that can go play out outside at X, okay? I need a guy that's going to go throw up the X, win routes, and just be a dog on the outside.
And the film hasn't shown that. You don't think he's put that on film though? Because I've seen it on film. What I've seen is an inefficiency at quarterback, and they can't produce a productive offense. A quarterback that needed to bring in his longtime friend Davante Adams only to feed him targets last year because he couldn't get the offense going with the weapons that he had, which is sufficient enough. They were sufficient, more than sufficient enough.
I'm glad you brought up Davante Adams because Davante Adams actually made Garrett Wilson's job easier. Okay?
Of course he did.
He brought attention away from the kid.
Of course.
He brought attention. He made his job easier. Sure. And his yards per route and targets both went up after Davante Adams got there.
But what's the point? What's the point you're trying to prove?
So you're trying to say that Davante Adams showed up there and all the targets went to him, and that as a reason why Garrett Wilson had a subpar year. No.
No, yes. I wouldn't necessarily say that. No.
Why?
I would say that they didn't use him correctly, and because of that, they had to bring in Davante Adams, who Aaron Rodgers force-fed targets, even on games where it wasn't working, and Garrett Wilson still had his opportunities.
Who are you going to throw to? Who are you going to throw to? Davante Adams or Garrett Wilson? Who's better? You're a quarterback. Adams, who are you throwing?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But we're not.
I'm going to force feed the better receiver.
What are we debating, though? Are we debating who's better, Davante Adams or Garrett Wilson, or is Garrett Wilson a 1? I think Garrett Wilson's a 1.
You brought up some weird red herring of a point that Davante Adams was brought in and force-fed the ball. Yes.
For sure he was. 100%.
You're stating the obvious. The better receiver was force-fed the ball.
I
Going
agree.
to any NFL offense, the number one guy is going to be force-fed the ball.
But that's not the point I'm trying to make. I have Davante Adams in my top 10 too.
So what's
I think
the
they
point?
are both top 10 receivers in the league.
Wait.
100%.
Garrett Wilson's now top 10?
I would put him in the 15, 12, 10 range. 100%.
Are you okay,
If you
Johnny?
watch him on tape, take away the stats, the poor quarterback play, the inefficient
Why are we
offense,
taking away the stats?
Take away the stats.
Okay.
Because he's put up
we take away
stats.
so okay. I believe you are on record saying NFL is a production-based league. It's
For sure,
about what
but why are we acting like he doesn't produce? He still does produce at a consistent basis.
He produces at a wide receiver 2 level.
We watched a guy like Terry McLaurin last year explode with, I don't know, the second or first most touchdowns in the league receiving because he finally got a top 10 quarterback. Once Garrett Wilson reaches that point, if he ever does, in New York, which he never will, he'll get traded away and eventually we'll see his worth.
True.
Then he will hit top numbers in the league. He's still been a consistent receiver. We're acting like 1,100 yards is a trash season. It's really good. And yes, we need better. We need 1,300 yards.
Above average. It's really above average.
For a top 5 guy. But he needs a quarterback.
When we're talking
about... He needs a system that works for him.
When we're talking... See, no. See, that's like the disconnect right there. You need a system that works for Garrett Wilson. Jamar Chase is the system. Justin Jefferson is the system. AJ Brown is the system. We're comparing 2
different tiers now.
I'm comparing wide receiver ones. Wide receiver ones. They are the system. You make things work for them. Whatever. You force feed them any type of way. His yards per route on the outside drop off compared to his yards per route on the inside. He's a slot guy, and that's fine. That's fine. He does more production on the inside. He's a jag. He's just a guy. Like Steve Smith was saying about Jerry Jeudy.
That's crazy.
It's the same thing.
Just a guy.
He's just the guy.
Just a guy.
Okay?
You think if they paired him with a guy like Joe Burrow, he wouldn't go for 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns?
So now,
You don't think he would?
I would change the phrasing of the question. I think Jamar Chase would be Jamar Chase in New York. So
Jamar Chase would go for what, 1,800 yards in New York with Aaron Rodgers?
I think he goes 1,500.
But okay, but I understand.
So like what?
But
so
now,
what
but
I'm
now
saying
this
is
is what we're
that,
doing.
is that if we have to go and take Garrett Wilson and place him with what, a top 3 quarterback, is that what we have to do?
But no, but this is what we're doing now. There's a tier when we rank. Let's tier receivers, okay?
Yeah.
Jettas, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. Let's say you have your top 5 or 6 there, right?
Okay.
They're elites of the elites. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have Garrett Wilson there yet, okay? But when you go to that second tier of still receiver
He's
one,
in the third tier. He's in the third tier.
He's absolutely not in the third tier.
Okay, so
who are second tier receivers that you have over him? T. Higgins, you have over him?
Listen to this. I was thinking about this. On the drive home today, okay? Garrett Wilson is just Devontae Smith.
Stop.
He's Devontae Smith.
No.
If Devontae Smith is better than Garrett Wilson, first of all.
Oh, you need to stop. You need to get checked.
First of all,
you need to get checked.
First of all,
you seriously need to be checked.
And just listen to this, okay? His catch rate, right? Like his overall catch rate was 66%, okay? Which ranked 23rd amongst all other receivers in the National Football League.
Is it
That's
Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson?
Yes. That's well below league average, okay? But like I said earlier, okay, I'm going to refer back to it. I need a dog on the outside to go win mano-a-mano versus a CB1. His win rate versus man coverage was 34%. His win rate against zone jumps up to 55%. So now what that tells me, you're not a guy that can just go and just beat guys one-on-one. I have to scheme you open. I have to have you run certain routes, and I have to motion you around. And again, we have seen it work. There is no shame in being a high-end wide receiver 2, a gadget guy. But I am trying to educate my other little brothers, okay? Because I'm trying to educate you, a Bills fan, but I'm trying to educate my other little brothers with the Jets. They just signed Devontae Smith, a wide receiver 2, to this gigantic deal. What are we doing?
In so many ways.
What are we doing?
Garrett Wilson clears Devonta Smith in so many ways. It's unbelievable.
See, and
he's not a receiver 2. If he played with a top quarterback, honestly, if he played with even a top 10 guy.
I want a rebuttal to his win rate versus man being only 34%. Go. The floor is yours.
From what I saw on film,
I
think that he can win against guys man on man. I think he has the route package. I think
why
he's
is that not
versatile
showing
enough
up?
to do it.
So then why is that not showing up then? Why? So then why does his win rate just jump up 21% versus zone when like he doesn't have a guy that's directly on him playing bump and run coverage?
I listen, from what I saw in the film,
Exactly.
This is all I'm saying.
Thank you.
From what I saw in the film, he can win in man-on-man coverage. When you watch the route,
the numbers don't say that though.
When you watch, from what I saw in film, he can.
Guys,
I think it was a lack of opportunity. Anything that you think
from what he saw in film,
he can't make up.
I don't care. Like, okay,
you watch the stats. I understand. You care about that he went for 1,000 yards.
I've watched Garrett Wilson play. Again, AFC East. I watch our divisional opponents very closely. Okay,
so what can Garrett Wilson do better in your eyes to make him a top receiver? What is he missing?
I think, for one, he needs far more explosive plays. Okay, I think that
Listen. You're saying he doesn't excel in contested catching. He's not a playmaker.
Listen.
I need to send you some
clips.
clips.
That was my next point. He is elite at the contested catch. Okay, that's awesome. But what that tells me, he's not getting separation. And leads to my next stat, because that's what I'm gonna be now. I'll be the stat guy, okay? His target separation ranked 61 in the league. 61! He's just not getting separation. And that's and again, he's gonna go up and get the ball, right? Great contested catch. He's gonna hit one of these. Awesome. I need my number one to be able to do that and create separation. He doesn't do that. He's a high end, like I'm telling you, if this is the level of wide receiver ones, he's right here. He's right underneath. He's right underneath. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can win with Garrett Wilson being on your team, just not as your wide receiver one.
I think it's unbelievable. Honestly, I think it's unbelievable. But here. This is what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to list you out some receivers.
Okay.
And you tell me who you'd rather have. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to skip the top like 6 or 7. Okay?
Who are those though?
I'm going to skip Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Puka, Nico Collins, Neighbors, AJ Brown.
Okay.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
And Devontae Adams.
So that's 10.
No, that's 9.
Okay.
So now we get into the 10, 11, 12, 13 range. Okay. T. Higgins.
T. Higgins is better.
Doesn't besides his height and ability to go up, doesn't do anything better than Garrett Wilson. Absolutely nothing. Besides production, but he has a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the league. Ladd McConkey. This is unbelievable. We're moving on to the next.
Listen, I'll give it to Garrett Wilson.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so. Cortland Sutton.
I'll give it to Garrett Wilson.
Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
I would say he's around that range. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is fucking better than. Yes. What are we doing?
Tyreek Hill's an old bum. He's
You're
washed.
A child.
He's what, 32, 33 years old? All he has is speed.
This is the issue with this youth. This is the issue with the youth, okay? They think anyone that is somewhat older than them is now unk and now.
No. But why didn't Tyreek Hill produce last year? Why didn't he produce last year? Why didn't Tyreek Hill produce last year?
Because his quarterback had scrambled eggs for brains.
Oh, so now we're blaming the quarterback.
No,
we're blaming the way that he was used in the offense. This is what I'm saying. This is Garrett Wilson's issue.
No.
If he was used properly, and actually targeted like he's meant to be targeted in a real game and targeted in a setting that he can succeed.
101 receptions is not enough.
Dude, watch the games. Okay. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. The targets that he was off the same. He wasn't on the same page as Aaron Rodgers, who was also washed, by the way.
You are being intellectually dishonest if you are saying that Tyreek Hill's situation and Garrett Wilson's situation is the same. Okay, if you want to talk about watching the game, watching the film, watch any Miami Dolphins game when Tua is not on the field. Mike McDaniels is an absolute fraud, and all he had Tyreek doing was just run the bubble game. Okay,
so it's a scheme thing.
And
it's a scheme thing.
It's not a scheme
just like
thing.
Garrett Wilson.
No, it's not a scheme thing. Tyreek Hill is a guy that has flourished in many different systems. He's a guy that's went and got 1,700 yards, 1,500 yards. Like, the fact that we're even debating Tyreek Hill versus Garrett Wilson is ridiculous. We'll go on to the next name.
Well, let's just end it there. I feel like I listed enough receivers, but all I'm going to say.
Jerry Jeudy's better too. Jerry Jeudy. Mike Evans is better. Mike Evans is better.
Mike Evans
is better.
Mike Evans does the same thing as Garrett Wilson. He puts up the same numbers, but he's an older receiver, and Garrett Wilson is a far better route runner, better at finishing at the catch point. He does everything better than Mike Evans.
Okay,
are you serious? You're telling me if you put Mike Evans in New York this year with Aaron Rodgers, he does better than Garrett Wilson?
Yes.
This is my
final point.
Are you serious?
This is going to be my final point, and it's going to be a segue to what we eventually have to go and talk about on Friday. There is this fixation amongst football fans with he can do more. He can do this. Frankly, I don't care. Okay? At the end of the day, you have to go out there and produce. Okay? So if you are a player,
1,100 yards is a pretty good season.
If you are a player, say you only have one route, but if they can't stop that one route, That's on you for needing a whole bag to get separation. That's on you for needing 7 different releases, 7 different like head ups and stems. That's on you. Mike Evans, sure, call him a one-trick pony. Do whatever you need to do with that. He is better than Garrett Wilson because
In what
he
aspect
shows
of the
up.
game?
Look at what
In what? He doesn't put up better numbers. So then what does he do better? If he doesn't put up better numbers, that okay, he's a better red zone guy. He's a taller receiver.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. He's
End of story.
No.
That's all
And
he
he's
does better.
far more explosive. Look at some of the games that he's been having.
Are you serious? Watch Garrett Wilson and his yak ability. Garrett Wilson's a top 10 guy with the ball in his hands in the league.
Okay.
Watch him with the ball in his hands. Seriously.
You got it.
And you want to know the real issue? Let's get down to the real issue, which was Aaron Rodgers, who's old and washed. He's an old washed quarterback. He's an old fart, man. He's not a top 15 quarterback. He needs a perfect system to succeed.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what happens when you're 41.
I want to make a preface, okay? If Jordan Haslip is watching this, I still think the Steelers are going to do bad, and I still think the Steelers suck. It's just not going to be because of Aaron Rodgers. Okay? So, old fart, all these childish names. See, when I go shot for shot, I come with facts.
I'm ready for facts.
I don't
I'm
come.
ready.
I don't come and play kiddie league with these little jabs. I don't do that. Okay, I leave that to you and the other internet.
I'm ready. I'm ready for your stats and your facts.
So PFF. Okay, Pro Football Focus. Okay, just in case you didn't know what that was. Okay, had Aaron Rodgers ranked in the top 5 for lowest times to throw. And despite this, still put up MVP stats.
MVP stats. So he dunked on bottom feeding teams to end the season and cherry picked his stats. So they look pretty good, better than what they were. What I saw was a quarterback that threw away games early in the season when they mattered. Looked like he couldn't connect with any of his receivers, a top 15 receiver in the league. So it's kind of interesting. He looked old and slow, hesitant on his reads, couldn't make off-platform throws. And I'll give you this. There were points I watched Aaron Rodgers last year, and I thought, wow, that was a really nice throw. He looks like his old self. But he can't do it consistently anymore. He's almost completely ineffective when there's pressure in his face, when there's people at his feet, and he looked uncomfortable. Deshaun, we have to be real with ourselves. He's not a top 15 guy in the league. He needs a perfect situation to succeed. And so did Brady when he was 45 years old. And he had that. But Aaron Rodgers needs that right now, and he doesn't have that in Pittsburgh.
So my question for you, okay, and you might not know it because you are super young. 2019 was Tom Brady washed. I'll answer the question for you. Yes, Tom Brady was washed. Okay, sure. Or was he just in a bad situation? He was in a bad situation. The Patriots had limited options, bad offensive line play, and no real help around him on the defensive side of the ball. Very similar to what happened with the Jets. A Jets defense that allowed 25 points per game, might I add. Yet everyone is always saying how great of a defense they have, okay? I don't do hype, okay? I do production, and they didn't produce, okay? So, among all quarterbacks in the NFL, he ranked second in EPA per dropback, okay? Slightly ahead of this guy, Patrick Mahomes, if you've heard of him, okay? He also had fewer interceptions than Patrick Mahomes as well. I think that Patrick Mahomes guy is often regarded as the best quarterback in the league. So, just throwing that out there, okay? His completion over expectation, okay? So these are throws that are expected to not be completed, okay? All right? For high difficulty throws exceeded expectations. And he finished top 13 in explosive plays from quarterbacks. That is well above league average, okay? So for this old, washed up quarterback, I need you to explain to me why he is finishing top 13 in explosive plays. Throwing to guys for half the season like Garrett Wilson, a fraud of a wide receiver 1, and Alan Lazard. Oh, and Tyler Conklin, sorry.
Are we for real? Are you serious? You know why he has these explosive plays and these magnificent stats? It's because he dunked on bottom-feeding teams to end the season and during the year. But when the lights were actually on, he threw interceptions to lose games. He threw away games.
How many interceptions did he throw? He only threw 11.
No, I'm saying if you look at the timing of the interceptions early on in the season, he threw away two games early on in the season.
So,
and when you watch him play, he missed Garrett Wilson on a whole ton of throws. We're not even going to go there, though. He missed Garrett Wilson on a whole ton of throws. He had to bring Davante Adams in because he needed to feel comfortable. He needed his comfort back because he's not a dynamic quarterback anymore. He's been in the league for over 2 decades.
Yep.
He's not a dynamic quarterback. He needs comfort. That's why he brought Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb and Davante Adams, because he can't work with new talent. It's not going to be any better in Pittsburgh. So watch that to be a collapse of a season. And that's not just his fault. I think Pittsburgh's, an average organization as per usual. But listen, we cannot say Aaron Rodgers is a top 15 quarterback. He just doesn't have it in him anymore. When you watch the play, if the pocket's completely clean and you give him a good read, okay, yeah, he can make the throw. Pretty talented. But besides that, he's not there anymore. He can't scramble outside the pocket. He's ineffective. He can't throw off platform.
Your entire argument is that you are speaking from an emotion-based
It's not.
place.
It's not. I watched the games last year.
See, but
I went through the film.
I want you to present me with some facts.
They are facts. If you go and watch the games, here's some facts from last year.
Here's some more facts for you, okay?
Sure.
Since we want to talk about interceptions, on interceptable passes, okay? So these are passes that hit a defender in the hands that should have been interceptions. It's a drop, whatever, okay? He threw 12 of those, okay? Do you know how many interceptions he had? 11. So even if they did go and catch that one ball that was dropped, he would only have 12. To me, that lets me know that A-Rod, okay, Aaron Rodgers, can still thread a needle, still pick defenses apart, and he's doing that with the dumpster fire of an organization like the New York Jets.
With two top 15 receivers.
So what that tells me, okay, because Aaron Rodgers seems to be a guy that keeps a chip on his shoulder. The year after they drafted Jordan Love in Green Bay, he went out and won an MVP, okay? I'm sure that he is hearing the naysayers. He is hearing that he is washed and that he should be out of the league. I expect a bounce back season from him. And with the new addition of DK Metcalf in Pittsburgh, I bet you anything you want that Aaron Rodgers will finish top 10 in all major
God. What does DK
stats.
provide that Garrett Wilson doesn't? Garrett Wilson's a better receiver than DK.
They're in the same.
He doesn't have the weapons.
Same boat. They're in the same boat.
Not in the same boat. Garrett Wilson clears DK Metcalf, but that's another debate. We are talking about Aaron Rodgers, Shawn. Okay.
Yes.
Last season, 250 yards he threw 7 times. 4 of those times came in the last 5 games of the season. All he did last year was throw for 300 yards against teams that were already phased out of the playoffs, that were tanking for draft picks, including the Jets, because under his lead, they couldn't do anything. I am telling you. And the reason he had so many, or maybe so few interceptable throws is because all he would do is dump it off to the running back because he couldn't make a read last year. He wasn't comfortable with the offense. He didn't understand it.
Okay,
and he would throw it, and he would throw it out of bounds.
I'm gonna poke a hole right through your entire theory right there that he's just a dunker. Okay, that he just throws, hits a check down. He was top 10 in deep ball percentage. Okay, so this whole idea that he's just playing it safe just to make sure that he has a high QBR, which was top 20 in the league. Just let you know, okay? He wasn't just doing that by just playing it safe, okay? Now, am I arguing that Aaron Rodgers is the Aaron Rodgers of old? No, I'm not saying that. I think Aaron Rodgers has obviously taken a step back, but
huge.
Aaron Rodgers has a quote where he says, "A down year for me is a career year for most guys." And we've seen it this year because his down year this past year
is the same as Josh Allen.
Was 28-11.
Yes.
And it was
the
same
as Josh
year,
Allen.
And it was a career
and Josh
year
Allen had nobody
for that
to throw
fraud
to.
in Buffalo.
Josh Allen was throwing
for
to
that
a broken
fraud
Amari
in
Cooper.
Buffalo.
Amari
for that
Cooper.
fraud
He had
in
no
Buffalo.
weapons. He had to do it all himself. He scored 10-plus touchdowns running the ball. What do you want me to say? He had no offense. He had an offensive line, and that's about it. The whole offense, matter of fact, the whole team was put on his back. But guess what, Deshaun?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting to me? Here's the interesting part to me is that the Buffalo defense wasn't really that good this year either. If you watch them play, they weren't really that good. When you break it down, which team made the playoffs, made an AFC conference championship game, and which team floated through the regular season with a losing record all year long and just happened to run into a few really terrible teams at the end of the year and post some good stats? The New York Jets. The New York Jets, because Aaron Rodgers can't do it for a team anymore.
I get it. You're comparing a prime Josh Allen to a 40.
You compared them.
So if you want to say, oh, who had a bigger impact on winning? Yes. The 27-year-old did more than the 42-year-old, okay? I want to throw some more stats at you, okay? Because, again, like I said, I'm the stat man,
Stats
okay?
guy.
Yeah, that's what I do, okay? Nearly 60% completion percentage against man coverage, okay? So, when he had Garrett Wilson, right, that just couldn't get any separation, okay? When there's a guy on Garrett Wilson's hip, okay? Aaron Rodgers is the one that is feeding it in there, threading needles, and fitting it in tight spaces, okay? 60%? Johnny, 42-year-olds shouldn't be doing that. There are many 25 guys half his age that can't do that.
No.
Okay? Deshaun,
he needs a perfect pocket. He needs great receivers to succeed.
He doesn't
That's
need a
the bottom line.
pocket.
He does. He crumbles under pressure. The second he got pressured last year, he couldn't do it.
He was top 7 in sacks, in being sacked, okay?
That's great. The offensive line wasn't good, but that's what I'm saying.
That will create hesitancy for any quarterback in football at any level.
But a guy that's truly elite that can still do it at a top level would be able to combat that. Would he not be?
If you are a franchise and you are expecting a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers to be as mobile as he was 10, 15 years ago, you're stupid. If you're a fan expecting Aaron Rodgers to still be as mobile, especially after tearing his Achilles, you're stupid, okay? Because he is still showing that he is not just a capable passer. He is not just an above average passer. When he has time in the pocket, he is able to thread the needle. He's able to slice defenses. He is able to dissect teams, and he's done it. Time and time again last year.
So he needs a top 5 offensive line.
No, he just needs an offensive line that's not going to have him getting sacked the 7th most in the league.
But here's the thing.
He needs an average offensive line.
No football team will ever be perfect. Okay, there's going to be holes all over the place.
Aaron Rodgers, absolutely.
But here's the thing is if we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers as a top 15 quarterback, I don't even know if you would consider him a top 15 quarterback. Would you?
I have him probably in that 17 range.
What are we even discussing then? What are we discussing? He's replaceable. He's a replaceable guy.
You say
I think he's washed. I think he might sneak into the top 20.
The stats don't support you, buddy. The stats don't support you.
I think he's washed. The stats are lying. If you watch the games,
is this a lie?
All he did was dunk on teams at the end of the year that were trash. They were trash.
Okay.
And he showed up at the end of the season all nice and relaxed with all of his boys there, firing shots out against terrible defenses. For sure, man. I'd go for 300 against that Dolphins defense.
Johnny, I got a
totally.
question for you, brother. Okay? Am I allowed to ask my question?
For sure.
Okay. Were the Patriots a bad team last year?
I would say it depends what you're looking at, but I would say yes. I would say yes.
I
would say yes.
You're trying to lie. Were they a bad team? Yes. Okay. Would you consider that a team that is worth dunking on because they're a bad team?
Well, again, it depends what you're looking at.
I'm asking.
Because if you're talking about their defense,
is that a bottom feeding team?
But I would say yes, they were a bottom feeding team last year. Sure. They were not a good team.
Why didn't Joe Burrow dunk all over them with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins?
First of all, we're going into a whole different debate. This is week 1. This is who the Bengals are to start every single season.
You're not being consistent with your arguments, okay? at the end of the day, Johnny, these are professional football players that get paid that get paid
If Josh
millions of
Allen did
dollars.
what Aaron Rodgers did at the end of the season, you would scrutinize him till the end of time. If he
Because
went to
again,
Miami
because
and
again,
threw for 330 yards, but again, because he's a 27-year-old.
Exactly. You have to use context. Use context, okay?
So now his age doesn't matter. Now throw his age out the window. We have to pay attention to he's 42 years old, so we can only judge him as a 42-year-old.
Yes.
I'm judging him as a football player, just as you were judging receivers, Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson. I'm judging Aaron Rodgers with every other quarterback in the league, and he's not top 20. He's not.
Okay,
and he's replaceable.
Okay.
And he can win a Super Bowl.
Well, he's already won one. He's done something that Josh Allen
he can't win a Super Bowl anymore.
He can't win another one. He can't win another one. See,
he can't win another Super Bowl right now.
It's ingrained in your brain. It's ingrained in your brain to say he can't win a Super Bowl just in general because you're a Bills fan and you'll never win a Super Bowl. But anyways,
now
Rodgers,
we're doing childish arguments. Now these are childish arguments.
Has the 9th highest passer rating, again, versus man coverage, okay? So, again, lets you know he threats Indigo. But this is the last
He was playing with two top 15 receivers last year. I hope so.
See, and your brain won't even let you lie. See, top 20 you said. See, stop trying to lie. Stop. See, Johnny, you're cracking. The mask is falling. You're even realizing, Garrett Wilson's really not that guy. You remember our conversation that we had about George Pickens? This is happening. But unfortunately for you, this is happening live. It's happening with all the people to see, okay? The mask has fell. I've seen it. But this is the last stat that I want to show you, okay? Okay? 27 is the lucky number, okay? Aaron Rodgers had 27 dropped passes last year, okay? Which ranks second in the league. So, with those top 20, top 15 receivers that you keep on talking about, right? Explain to me why they are dropping the ball so much.
Are you talking about the top 15 receivers that drop passes, or are we talking about Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, who dropped screen passes off the backfield?
No, I'm talking about
who had the drops.
Team. The entire team.
The entire team. Alan Lazard?
I'm talking about the entire team. So,
Alan Lazard? So if the Bengals had 30 drops and I just went and said, why is Jamar Chase dropping 30 balls?
No.
Is that a valid argument?
Are they not accounted for in this?
For sure. Who's to say that they have the majority of those drop passes? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it wasn't.
My question is that
all I'm going to say.
Okay. Here's my closing statement, okay?
For sure. Me too.
And then I'll give you the floor because this is your show, even though I dominate you every time I've had you on.
Sure.
And there's a reason why this guy, Johnny, has not had me on in a while because I bring the most views to his show, and he did not want to get overshadowed because it would be called the Deshaun Leger show, not the JV show. So that's why I've been away for a while, okay, fans? But I'm back now. Now for my closing remarks, okay? Teams are expecting a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers that has come off an Achilles tear. Having a team like the New York Jets, where the offensive line play is abysmal, the supporting cast as a whole, running backs, receivers, are dropping the ball 27 times, ranking second in the league. A running back that is supposed to be top 5, not cracking 1,000 yards, not even cracking 900. They are expecting Aaron Rodgers at 42 years old to overcome that. That speaks to a testament to how good of a football player, how good of a quarterback Aaron Rodgers is. I can't speak to the character of the man because at the end of the day, I don't know him. But people get it so confused because they don't like Aaron Rodgers, the person, that they allow themselves to believe the propaganda that Aaron Rodgers is washed. And let me tell the fans that Aaron Rodgers is far from washed. And I wouldn't be surprised if this 2025 season is not a revenge tour.
First of all, and I'd like to compliment the point that we are not touching on the person, Aaron Rodgers. We have not touched on it. We're not going to go into it. We're not in the locker room. But I'd like to make it known that that is not bleeding into my opinions on Aaron Rodgers. Matter of fact, I don't care for the personality right now. I'm looking solely at the player, and what I saw was a quarterback that's had 2 decades of success in Green Bay, and the second he arrived somewhere new, somewhere foreign, it just didn't work out. It didn't. And I've seen him take multiple hits and multiple steps backward. And I was excited for this last season and excited for his first season in New York. But I fear that his age, the injuries have slowed him down. And last year they had to bring Davante Adams in for Rodgers to have a security blanket because he couldn't make it work with the weapons around him. And I view Garrett Wilson as a top 12 guy. So I find it hard to believe that Aaron Rodgers couldn't do that at a high level. And I think that it's not shocking that the Jets won how many games last year? 4. And only at the end of the season when they played games that were irrelevant. And I get it, against NFL teams. But you would make the same argument if Joe Burrow was out here dunking on, I don't know, the Raiders last year. I find it remarkable that those numbers are now inflating the real season that he had. Because he didn't start hot. And after that, it was down until around week 14, which is great. We love week 14 stats. That's it. End of show.